Hey guys, how's it going? It's the Crypto Lark here. Today we're going to be talking about Experty. They're having an ICO. They want to be the Uber of knowledge sharing. We're going to talk about what exactly that means after a quick shout out to everyone who has been hitting that like button, and of course everybody who has been subscribing to the channel. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that button down below to stay up to date with all of the latest in the crypto space. Furthermore, this is not professional financial advice, guys. This is just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. This is an ICO. There is always a certain amount of inherent risk in investing in an ICO. Please do your own due diligence before investing your own money. The team at Experty has reached out to me to do a sponsored review, but I have, of course, reserved the right to maintain this as an open and honest review. So let's get into it and find out just what exactly Experty is doing. Now, why use Experty at all? Basically, what we have right now is a situation where the marketplace has a gap. Now, there are different providers which have a very centralized service which try to create marketplaces that offer similar kind of services, but they're actually trying to take this a step farther. They are trying to decentralize the process, make it so that anybody can actually simply access the platform, not a marketplace, but the platform, and interact that way. So there's definitely this big gap here in the market that we see. Now, of course, with this, you're going to basically be able to call somebody and ask them a question. So in the same way you can call somebody with Uber to come pick you up in their car, you can call a lawyer, for example, to say, hey man, I've got this legal problem, I need your help. That person sets what rate they want to have. You know that before you make the call. The whole process is very transparent, very quick, instant access to the experts that you need, instant answers, of course, from those very experts, and of course, the big bonus here for the expert, instant payment. No BS waiting around till the end of the month to get paid from some centralized platform. None of that stuff. Service, paid, done. All in a smart contract, all taken care of. Basically instantaneously via the blockchain. So really, really cool stuff. The use cases is something that I've found to be really interesting. Now look, I mentioned lawyers, and that's probably something that a lot of people will use this for. 5 minutes of a lawyer's time, cool, versus being billed for the hour, of course, which is nice. Medical consultants, instead of asking WebMD and then finding out that you've got the rarest kind of cancer possible, well, you could actually call an actual medical consultant to get an actual answer. So that's really cool. Programmers having problems with their computer, call somebody up. 5-minute chat, 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Maybe that's all it'll take to answer your problem. Business advice, of course, professors, language learning, that'll be really big actually. Now there are a lot of centralized language learning platforms basically, but if you can actually find a way to connect this in a very decentralized way and let people earn cryptocurrencies, cool. I really like that idea. And the last one is quite interesting, but a very big market, webcam chats. Now this is paid one-on-one video chats with camera models, but we all know what this is. And to be honest, pretty good use of blockchain, say what you want about it, but that is a very interesting addition to that too. And of course, this is all big business. Lots of money is made every year in all of these different use cases. So, and this is of course just the tip of the iceberg. There are many more use cases beyond just this. The core features of the protocol, of course, are the decentralized communication app, where you can have, of course, audio, video communication with that expert that you're trying to get in touch with. Obviously, everything is decentralized. The payments are decentralized. The call links are decentralized. It's cross-platform, of course. And of course, you can see when your expert is available to have a chat with. Now, what it is not a marketplace. There are marketplace solutions already out there. This is not what they are trying to set up. They're trying to set up something a bit different. And that's where Experty becomes quite interesting. They want third-party platform integration. Now that can be tricky, without a doubt. You can always whack a link up there in your LinkedIn, but until you actually see that button somewhere, well, that is a bit tricky, and that might take them a little bit longer, but nevertheless, I really like the idea that you can just use the platform, say, hey, here's my link, call me. Easy. And people can see your availability. I'm available from 5 to 7 every Monday. You can call me and ask me questions. That is pretty cool, and that makes it really user-friendly for both the people looking for advice and those who are giving the advice. Here in the white paper, they give some nice screenshots of what the minimum viable product is actually going to look like. So here you can see we've got our list of favorite experts who we can call for advice. We've got our psychologist on here, our dermatologist, our lawyer, and our surgeon. All of our favorite people, of course. Our English to French translator over there, Lenny. So you can see you can have all these people favorited, all these connections that you can simply connect with. And here, of course, you can see basically how it will go down. So the price will be set by the expert. You'll call, and it will be costed out in a very quick, easy, decentralized way. All payments, of course, taken care of, again, by the smart contract. Experty is being brought to us by the team who built a company called React Poland. Now, it's a Polish team, and they basically have a lot of experience with developing apps, with consulting, billing, all these things. So they really have this insider knowledge of how basically this all works, how to build the right kind of products that people are going to respond to. If you look at the team as far as development, well, they've definitely got the tech side absolutely nailed down. They've managed to attract some pretty cool investors as well. Always, of course, great to see good minds advising them and giving them that information. And a very interesting thing, Jeff Berwick, the dollar vigilante, has just come on board as an ambassador for them. So I think this is going to drive a lot of hype and a lot of demand for the ICO when it does come out. So that is pretty cool as well. So the company React Poland, they've been around since 2014, but the real genesis of the Experty project started back in Q1 of 2017. They started development in the second quarter, had a pretty successful round of seed investment, getting $700,000 US. Of course, the token generation event is happening now. We can expect a beta version for the mobile and the web app in Q1 of 2018, so you're not going to have to wait very long if you're an investor in this ICO to see it actually starting to be used. So that's really cool. The Ethereum wallet will be up in Q1 as well. Now, the one thing that I do want to point out here, we are waiting a while for some key characteristics to come through. Fiat Gateway, not until Q4 of 2018, so that is a while away. Other things like screen sharing not coming until Q1 of 2019, so it won't be fully functional until 2019. You got to keep that in mind, that it will attract more users as the functionality of it increases. Not having screen sharing, for example, until 2019 is, tricky for sure. It's nice to call up and ask a lawyer a question, but if you want to be having, for example, a language lesson, maybe your teacher wants to show you something, and they can't do that via this app until 2019. Those are things you should keep in mind. It's time to talk about the token. Now, the token, of course, will be very instrumental to the internal ecosystem of the platform. Now, it will be used to do the payments to the knowledge providers. So this is exactly how payments are going to happen. It can also be staked by users for access to premium features. I imagine things like screen sharing will be offered as a premium feature, and you'll be able to access that by staking your Experty tokens. And of course, if you would like to schedule time with an expert in advance, you actually have to stake up a deposit in Experty tokens. Now, I can tell you as someone who's done a lot of different consultations over my time, people cancel all the time. And then there you are. You could have had someone else scheduled in, but now you're left with nothing to do and not making any money. And it's hard to get deposits out of people in advance, but with this kind of a system, you can just automate it all. Want to schedule in the time? Pay the deposit. Boom. Easy. Now, there are also additional, so that's all feeless, by the way. There are some fees that can be paid though. So if you are an expert, a knowledge provider as they like to call them, and you want to accept Bitcoin payments, for example, well, there's a monthly subscription fee for that. If you want to accept dollars or euros, well, there's a subscription fee for that as well. But otherwise, there are no recurring fees, just what is happening in the exchange of the knowledge seeker and the knowledge giver. The guys over at Experty have decided to go with a proof of carrying model for bonuses during the ICO. Now, it's broken down into a few different categories. If you reach the partner tier, for example, you'll get a 60% bonus plus 5,000 Experty coins. Pretty cool. If you can reach tier 1, 40% plus 1,000 Experty, regardless of your contribution amount. 20% for tier 2, 10% for tier 3, and no percent for tier 4. Now, those applications for proof of carrying will be accepted up until the 15th of January. Basically, you need to show that you're into this, that you're into the community, that you want to do something, that you want to help basically spread the word about Experty. So you might write an article on Medium, you might create a meme, you might name your dog Experty and put that on Instagram or something like this. There's lots of different ways to kind of participate in the proof of carrying system, but if you do want to participate in this ICO and you do want this bonus, you got to figure out how to get in there. Now, I think that a lot of bonuses will be given out, but probably not a crazy amount of them. We'll have to actually wait and see how many people got the 60% bonus, for example. I think it'll be very, very, very few people. How many will reach tier 1? Probably not very many either. I mention this because if there's a few people who are really invested in this, those people aren't likely to dump immediately on the market. And so if you do have some big bonuses going to a few people who really believe in the project, I'm not so worried about them personally doing this post ICO dump where you see the price be driven down by people who got giant bonuses. I don't see it happening here. The bonuses are too small for the lower tier investors, and the high tier investors actually have to prove that they care. Before we get into the exact details of how to participate in the token generation event, I did just want to discuss a few other risks that I had on my mind. One is, of course, this is an ERC-20 token actually, but nevertheless based on the Ethereum blockchain. Let's see if Ethereum can scale. Now, they themselves point this out as a potential problem in their white paper. Obviously, there's a lot of new blockchains coming on as well. People can just migrate from one blockchain to another. That's not a big deal for them, but that is a potential problem. Another thing that came to mind is potential legal concerns. What if somebody gets bad advice? What if they want to sue Experty? How is that going to be dealt with? Well, that's an interesting thought to think about. And the final thing that I thought about is, how are they going to bring experts? How are they going to get people to use Experty? How are they going to convince, hey, you lawyer in New York, or hey, you doctor in Costa Rica, come use our platform? Obviously, that's going to take a lot of marketing on their part to get people interested, to get people involved, to get people using this. I know personally, back when I was a language coach, I would have loved something like Experty. This would have been awesome. I would have done all of my business through here. Those times have changed for me, but there are a lot of people that this is going to help, and that is really cool. Now, the token generation event, they're only raising $9 million. That is super low in today's market. We see most ICOs raising 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 million, even some of the blockbuster ones. $9 million is well on the low end for a raise, and I mention that because if they're starting with such a low cap, cool. That actually gives a lot of upward potential if you're looking at this as a shorter term investment, or even as a long-term investment. You do have some real good potential here. Now, you're getting 1,000 Experty tokens for 1 Ethereum. Again, the bonus tier structure is based on that proof of carrying model. So there will be a link down below if you do want to get involved in this token sale. It's kicking off next month. Let me know what you think about Experty in the comments section down below, guys. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.